Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Fabio Palvelli. I'm a designer and I'm the co-founder of the D2 conference in Vienna. If you're new around here, on this channel, I like to talk about design. I like to talk about the business side of design. And I also like to share a little bit of my life with you guys. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about getting paid in full for your services as a designer or as an artist. Now, shout out to my good friend Johannes Lindqvist for posting this message a few days ago. It seems it's getting hard to get paid for work these days, even from the big wealthy companies. I'm applying a new rule, always 100% upfront from now on. Everyone should follow this example. Johannes, I agree, man. Now, if you do not know who Johannes is, make sure that you go and check him out. He's a great, talented artist working mainly in the field of archivism, but not only. But anyway, I've never understood this policy that seems to be prevalent when we talk about freelancers in general, of getting paid 30, 60, 120 days after that the work is completed. And this is not only in the field of archivists. I know a lot of people, other professionals that have similar experiences. We're talking about photographers, product designers, architects. In a fair world, you look at my portfolio, you agree to work with me based on what you see on my portfolio. You give me an advance to book me and to book my time. I start to work for you. I complete my work. I give it to you. You pay me. I do not remember going to the supermarket and agreeing with the guy that works there that I was going to pay for my beers 3 months later. I don't even recall doing that at Foot Locker or IKEA. I don't recall doing that in any shop actually. And it's always been the same also when working with professionals. Say, if I had to hire a plumber, I always had to pay the plumber in full when the job was done. I just bought a new computer. The computer was paid in full 2 weeks ago. The computer will be delivered in 3 weeks from now. It's not like I'm going to pay for the computer 6 months after the delivery. You pay, you get stuff. That's how it works. Instead, we as a community of designers have somehow accepted that it is acceptable to be paid later for a service that it's bought and that it's consumed on delivery. And I am frankly a little bit tired of hearing this bullshit of people saying that this is because of payment cycles, or the classical excuse that sometimes our clients have when they say, well, we did not get paid by our clients, so we cannot pay for your renderings. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm in a position where I don't have the money and I cannot pay a person to do a job for me, I don't take the risk. I don't ask them to do the job and then they are going to be paid later. There was once an instance in the past when I did that with somebody and things unfortunately did not work out. And I felt humiliated when I was not able to pay that person for the work that he did. Instead, I think that nowadays there are people that do this on purpose. It has almost become their strategy, their way to get stuff and not having to pay anybody for it. And I'm always more convinced that the reason why people do that, they do it because they know that you as a designer are very vulnerable and there isn't much that you can do about it. The only thing that we can do to protect ourselves is to be paid 50% in advance at least. And of course, you need to make sure that that 50% really covers all your costs, because otherwise you're still basically taking a risk. Look, most of us who have had this type of problems of getting paid in full by their clients, they're not big companies, they're small companies. Sometimes we're single freelancers, which rely heavily on every single penny that we earn through our work. Now, with big design companies doing bigger design budget jobs, it is in a way a little bit more understandable that there might be project phases in which budgets are released according to a specific schedule. And this is simply done to have a greater control over the money that the client has available for any given specific project, so that they do not go over budget. But those paying schedules, they are usually within the contract, so you know that they're there. Plus, when you're working on a bigger budget project, you usually have insurances, you have guarantees that the money will be mobilized at a certain point, and so it's a little bit easier for the company to take the risk, because it's not really a risk, it's just how this project is going to work. But with small companies and small freelancers just like you and I, whose projects are hardly ever going over the 5 low figures, the reason why clients delay payments, it's simply because of the fact that designers have no leverage. I get emails and messages from artists that do jobs for $400, $500, sometimes $1,000, and their clients do not pay them. Now you're telling me that that kind of money needs to be somehow mobilized and that the bank won't release it? No. The client has the money, they just do not want to give it to you. The client delays the payment thinking, well, maybe the guy that does these images, in a few months from now, they will forget about the payment. Or maybe even worse, the client thinks, you know what, maybe these guys go bankrupt and then there will be no payment at all. For a client, there are only advantages in keeping the money that they owe you in their own pockets. And unfortunately, the worst thing is that this is a culture that we as professionals have enabled and have made acceptable for our clients. This whole thing reminds me a little bit of the 5 monkeys experiment with the bananas on top of the ladder and the cold showers. Does it ring a bell? Well, the bottom line is that we do not know who has made this not getting paid in full on delivery the new standard, but we have seemed to have accepted as the new norm. Aren't you guys tired of this? Then please listen to me. Stop accepting work that is not paid at least 50% upfront, and write it in your contract that the work can only be released upon final payment. If a client refuses to pay you on release of the work, then the chances might be that that client will not pay you at all. So you might as well not give them the final product. Make that your new policy. And even if the client says, well, I can pay you the deposit next week, tell them, well, I can start to work for you next week. If it's really important to them, I promise you they'll find the money. Especially if it's just a few €1,000. I guarantee you the clients have the money, they just don't want to give it to you. Look, I know I do not expect to start a revolution. This will take time. It will take a lot of courage and it will take a lot of initiative from each one of us to try and change this working culture. But it can be done, I'm sure of it. Now, you might have clients with which you have built good relationships, you have your way of doing things. This might include waiting for them to pay you, but if at the end you get paid and you don't have a problem with them, then you should not worry about those clients. But with your new clients, make it a new official policy to get paid on delivery with a 50% deposit. I'm actually very happy to say that in my career, I only had problems maybe a couple of times with clients in the past. And the funny thing is that those clients had very big names from which one would have expected that, the payment was going to be an easy situation, that I was not going to have problems with them. Surprise, surprise, in the end they did not pay me. So what I did, I changed my policy. With those guys, I said, no, you pay in full when you actually need my work. And they never came back. But you know what? I never really needed them, so it's all good. Of all the people that I've met in my professional career, artists and designers are usually among the people that work the hardest. They're among the people that love their job the most. They're among the most passionate people that I've ever met. But often, unfortunately, they are the ones that earn the least. Why should we have to put up with any more injustice? Look, I know that this might sound utopian and it might sound like, you might think that it might sound stupid. Look, together we can change things, but it will take time. Maybe it will take a long time. So my recommendation to you is that we should start now. Thanks a lot for watching. My name is Fabio Palvelli. See you guys next time.